and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton. And today we are going to look at one of the Healthy Families programs that offers some really intensive support for families. It's called Healthy Start. My guest is Holly Potter. Welcome.
Hi, welcome, thank you.
Healthy Families offers so many programs, basically for every stage of parenting and child development. This one is a little more intensive, and it starts, you said prenatal,
Correct,
right?
correct.
So what is Healthy Start? What is the goal, and how do you go about doing that?
Well, first off, Healthy Start, as actually in 2017, has been around for 25 years in the city of Hampton.
And you're right, we should
Correct.
stop and talk about how remarkable that is, because we were really, not me, I wasn't here then, but at the forefront of looking at how we can make our children and our families healthier.
Correct, correct. So we have a number of years. We're not new to the city of Hampton,
No.
but we definitely want to still, be involved with all of our families and get them that support that they need in the most important time, which is that parenting phase and that young adolescent and prenatal. So Healthy Start, to just piggyback off of you, was initiated prenatally, like you said, in the prenatal stage. And we actually provide services intensively, and it's weekly, and it's about 1 hour a time. We provide information about child development, parent-child interaction, which includes fun activities. We're play-based, as well as we do family and well-being, so that includes health and safety, just social, emotional well-being, things like that. And then we are a family-centered program, so it's individualized, and we provide the best that we can in support that's non-judgmental or culturally sensitive to the families, and we just are there to help them through those major changes. And we try to talk about things prior to the stages coming up. So I know, right?
You get a little warning,
right? So I know, as a parent, that's you roll into stages that sometimes come as a shock or you're not quite ready for. Mm-hmm. So we tend to go ahead and talk about those things, and the parents can go ahead and try to think about how they might handle that, or what values do they have around that.
Why do families need that support? Like, I'm going to be old school here, and I'll be like, Grandma didn't have anybody helping her out. Her mom did it. What are some of the situations now that would really have a family asking for that kind of help and needing that?
Well, what we found in research is that that's something that no matter how much support you already have or how much support you may not, start out with, that more support is helpful in the outcomes of healthy families and healthy children and healthy parents overall. So we really strive to just continue to increase. I think all of us could use a variety. I usually always say, I don't always go to my mom for certain things, or I don't always go to my best friend for certain things. So I need that variety of who to go to and talk to for maybe a non-judgmental or just a listening person to hear me out, a sounding board. So
how do you help reach out to or find people who in particular could use some of your services?
So currently we do have, of course, all the community agencies, people in our community as well as churches. They can always contact us or provide our information to the families that they work with or talk to or in their communities. We also have our family resource specialists that go into the hospitals. So if you see someone coming in saying Healthy Start or Healthy Families, they're there to talk to you and get a little more information, and that's something we provide to all the families in the city of Hampton. And it goes along with our mission statement, which is to provide the children in the city of Hampton that they're all born healthy and enter school ready to learn.
But clearly there are families that could use more help than others. So working through maybe social services, maybe some of the programs that provide financial support for families that need it is a way to identify people who could use your services. What are some of those services? So when you first of all, how do you identify? People have to kind of apply for the program. Who are you looking for? What kind of questions are you going to ask me?
Well, we actually, social services is one way that we can reach families in the city, but we also, there is no one face to Healthy Start, and so we like to take in, that's the goal of City of Hampton, is to have all families reached in any way, and home visiting is for all families. We're all, as parents, equal in our health. Parenting is a hard step for us, is a hard stage, and so having that extra support, that intensive support. And so some of the questions we ask, we're looking for just ways to individualize that service to you and your family, and to provide you with the best information that maybe you're looking for. So it's helpful for the families to come forward as well. They can contact us directly as well, and see, maybe it fits them as well. But there is no one face. They actually all can receive some type of support. I always like to say when I'm working with families that it may just be that listening ear. It may just be that supportive person that's coming in, that's there to listen to just you, not to judge you, not to judge you as a parent. We believe that parents are the experts, and so we go off of that family-centered and family-first concept.
But again, some people might need more than that. So
Correct.
what are some of the more than that kinds of resources and support that you guys bring in?
Depending on what things that are most helpful for their family, we do have some things that we can, help out. It all depends on that specific family and whether it's something that we can provide to them. Of course, our families, we can provide transportation, but we try to work with them and that individual family. We try to work with, but our main goal is child development and that play-based activity, parent-child interaction, as well as just support in helping them learn positive parenting strategies and things like that. So that's our primary part of our program. And the other items, we talk about when they first get in the program, and it's all specific to that individual family though. So I won't say that it's necessary for all of them, but we do, we look at that.
So some families, it's so important in those early days to make sure that babies get all the checkups that they need. And some people, that's harder than others. I have a car seat, I'm cool, but some people might need help with that.
Yes. So if an individualized service that would come up, we would talk about it. We would, brainstorm around that to help them. And then we also just support and praise parents that they can, they are going to them. So if they are getting to those appointments, an important part is just that strength-based and being positive and praising them for the things that they already have in their family and what they can do. So.
And obviously, Hampton Roads in general is a very transient place.
Correct.
Many of us weren't born here. We don't have parents or grandparents. We don't have that extended family. And so sometimes parents are just, at the end of their rope, don't know who to call. Mm-hmm. What can you guys do in that kind of a situation?
Well, I think that's where we really fit in as well, just because we can be there for them to help guide them through what's in the community. You're right, the transient, as well as, Hampton Road's a large military base area. We have lots of families that have come from out of state or different areas. But the nice thing is that we're an accredited affiliation of Healthy Families America, and so there's sites all around the country. So we're able to not only help those who are coming into the city, but even if you're planning to leave the city or leave the area, we can help guide you in having this type of home visiting services and parent support even in your travels or where you're going, so in your life.
Right now in Hampton, there's and in many areas in the country, this real growing problem with youth violence and a population of kids that isn't plugged into all the positive things they could be plugged into. And I know that one of the goals of Healthy Families is that we want to prevent that. It's a very long-term goal. It's very hard to measure how much you can prevent. But how does parenting in those early years set the stage for what happens later?
Well, research-based has been, and brain development has been a big part of that. And we know that initiating that prenatally, because brain development starts in the womb, so in that pregnancy. So being able to make sure that they go to those appointments, make sure that, they're following those doctor's orders or taking those, nutrition and supplements, anything that's helpful for them at that point. But also, as the child grows, the brain development's so rapid and intense in those first years of life that's really why we're intensive in our services, to make sure that we're working on that. And because I always like to say that as parents, we kind of get used to the same kind of activities. We do the same thing over and over. We do what we've seen in our homes, and that's where that play-based comes into play, where we bring out activities that hit on all areas of development, that include that social emotional piece, which is that piece that would lead into, learning that regulation of emotion and learning how to, problem solve through some of those major emotions and feelings. And so that's what we really work to work on, is that social emotional piece. We actually screen for that to make sure that we can, if we need to add more activities or education around, we can help that child learn how to, what their emotions and their feelings are, which is a big piece that we've added into our program over the years, where we've learned more in research.
And one of the things I know when I had kids is that you're exhausted a lot of the time.
I'll agree with that.
And when you're too tired to think, your instincts come out. And a lot of people's instincts may not be always positive. It relates to their upbringing, it relates to their past. And so even if you've taken classes and you know what you're going to do, it isn't always what you do.
Right. Well,
how do you work and help people understand that and be prepared for it and fight that trend of falling back on?
Well, and I think even if you don't have, because recently we had an example of a mom saying, I didn't have any parenting strategies. I didn't even know where to begin. So even if they don't have anything to go off of, they still accept the education on positive parenting strategies. And so what's nice about our intensive, program and being in the home in the comfort where you don't have to be silly or anything like that, don't feel obligated to tell your story or to talk about, your parenting strategies and things like that with others, that you have that personal piece to be able to open up and say, I need help in this area, or I may need some more information in this, or this is new to me. And so we do provide some positive parenting strategies and help guide them through that, but also help calm them down, teach them ways, because me as a parent has to do that. I have to do that as well for my son. So
I think, it is, and I've said this a lot when I talk about healthy families, we have to take a course in high school on how to drive a car. And we have to be certified by the state that we have a license and that we know what we're doing. Because, driving a car around the streets is potentially dangerous to me and to everybody else on those streets. Raising a kid is a bigger responsibility, and it just doesn't come necessarily with that level of education and instruction and support.
Right. So I agree, it's a big job. I think everybody would agree to that. But I do think that parenting, you're always learning. And that's the biggest thing for everyone to take away, is that, no one has it completely right. We're all in that moment, learning what to do, what's best. And what's best for one child is not necessarily best for the other child. And so that's where we can help bring that objective or outside listening ear and view to help guide them in, let's try this and see if this works best, for this child or for that child. And so that's the nice thing about, we're not all going to have it right. And, but having someone there to just process you through that and to help give you new and different ideas that maybe you wouldn't have thought of, including myself. I've learned lots just working here, so it's been great.
Okay, well, is there anything you want to add before we wrap up? Let's talk about how people can get in contact with you.
Yes, so we have, of course, they can stop into our building, which is 100 Old Hampton Lane, and we are right next to the History Museum, and they can ask to speak to someone about the Healthy Start home visiting program. We also have, they can call our family resource specialists, are on hand, ready to, talk to you and find out what fits your family best. and their number is 727-2636. And they're ready to help you. And even if you just want more information and want to have a little better understanding of what we do, or how can we help your family? So maybe you don't see how it can help your family specifically. We love to come and talk and just explain that and help you, determine how we can help you and your family.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
And again, this is just one piece of this program. A
Yes.
lot of people may or may not need these pieces. They might want to do the social interactions of the play groups or the classes, but this is to start out right
Yes.
for those
Yes.
children's lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. I think that parenting is the most difficult job that most of us do, and most of us do need some additional resources. And don't forget that Healthy Families has that to offer. Thank you for watching.